Hey guys, this is Quade again. This is round 2 of the Generation Tournament. I'm up against JammyBurger right now. He's got a Gen 3 team, as you can probably tell. So I'm a little worried about this team, but at the same time I see it's got a lot of tanks. So hopefully my Victory Bell will be able to find time to set up. At least that's what I'm thinking to myself. The problem, though, is Sableye is going to kind of be a thorn in my side here. So I basically have to sort of play it safe until I can find a good window. In case you hadn't noticed from the first video, my plan of action is basically to get Victory Bell out as safe as possible and simply run through an opponent's team. And then if things go terribly wrong, then I have Kangaskhan in the back to, bail me out. So I opted to lead. The Sableye sort of gave me pause. Instead of leading with my Aerodactyl like I would have liked to, I actually lead with Ninetales, because my Ninetales basically doesn't fear anything the Sableye can offer. So he actually leads with his Dusclops, which as soon as I saw that, I was like, crap, I should have led with freaking Aerodactyl and get those rocks up, but that's okay. He goes for a Protect. I'm not sure why, maybe scout out what I've got going on, but I always like to lead whenever possible. I go for the sub first, keep myself safe, keep my options open. So that's just a free turn for me, which I'm totally fine with. Again, I'm assuming that this is some kind of Pain Split, Seismic Toss / Nightshade Dusclops. Really tanky. I know the best way, having used Dusclops so frequently on my standard team, I know the best way to beat him is using status effects, because he'll wall any kind of offense without mercy. So I go for the Will-O-Wisp just to get that damage racked up. Plus, at the same time, he had a lot of physical attackers, specifically Breloom and Metagross, that I want to, if he would have switched to them immediately, would have been good for me. So he switches to his Metagross, which I had no idea why he did. I went for a Roar just to kind of shuffle his team around and ruin his plans. Brings out the Milotic, which is actually the Pokemon I wanted to see the least. Possibly Swampert, I guess, would be another one, but Swampert I could at least hamper with a Will-O-Wisp. But Will-O-Wisp against a Milotic actually makes it a little stronger. I opted to go for it anyway, so he goes for the Scald, so I now see that he's faster than I am, which could be a problem, but he actually doesn't manage to knock out the sub. So I know that's actually really good for me, that my Ninetales can endure a Scald and keep up the substitute. So I went for another sub thinking he could try to break it. Instead he goes for a Dragon Tail, trying to phase me out. With the sub up, it doesn't force me out of battle, so that's why you see that Ninetales is still hanging around. Which means I'm in great shape, because I know that Scald is not going to do very much to me. Dragon Tail, if he tries it again, is not going to work because I'll have the sub up. And he actually does try it again, manages a miss, unfortunately, but it wouldn't have forced me out anyway, so at this point it doesn't really matter. So I'm feeling pretty good about myself. That's why the Trick Room is up. There are a couple instances where I forget when Trick Room is up and when it's not up. So he brings back his Dusclops once again. I believe I was going for some offense at this point. Yes, I was. There's a Flamethrower. So you'll see the pitiful damage that this does to the might of Dusclops here. Even stab boosted in the sun, it doesn't do very much, which is kind of why I wanted the burn to start ticking away at him here, just to keep something going here. So I go for another one. I'm going to outspeed him, do some more damage. I figure he'll go for a Trick Room again, and there it is. So that's twice. The two teams I've faced have had some Trick Room users. Whether or not that's coincidence or not, who knows? Or if this is like a Trick Room heavy tournament based on generation restrictions and whatnot. So I figure he's going to try to come at me with a Nightshade and break my sub. But I decided to go for some offense anyway. He actually brings out his Swampert at this point, so I go for the Flamethrower. It's not going to do very much. I know he resists. He might double resist it. I can't remember if ground is resistant to fire or not. But it doesn't matter. He takes pitiful damage from it. He's going to use Quake to break the sub, which this is exactly why I like to run sub on my Ninetales. Doesn't matter. It's going to be at full health by the end of the turn anyway, and in exchange I'm going to cripple his Swampert, because Swampert's special offense is meaningless. He's all physical, which is really going to help me out in the future, whatever he's got left. So any kind of attacking he's going to do with Swampert is being totally crippled right now. So you saw he went for an Earthquake. I figure he'll probably do one again. Thanks to the sun, he's going to be more hesitant to use Water moves. So I go for Aerodactyl for the free switch. and sure enough, there's the Earthquake. I later realized that this Swampert is actually, I believe he's choice banded. I have a strong feeling he's choiced in some way, because we had another for fun battle afterward, and he had to keep switching him out. So I believe that that is a choiced Swampert anyway. So I went for the Stealth Rock. I knew he was going to switch, but I want to get those rocks out as soon as possible. He goes for Metagross, thinking, I don't know what he was thinking. Earthquake is going to hit him really good here. So I am totally fine with whatever he's going to come at me with. Maybe if he came at me with Meteor Mash, I would survive, but he doesn't. He goes for a Pursuit. I don't know if he was expecting a switch or what he was doing with that, but I'm hoping that he doesn't have Bullet Punch, because he might be able to knock me out with that. So I was sort of praying, no Bullet Punch, no Bullet Punch. But I go for the Earthquake. I was expecting to knock him out, but I actually don't. He barely survives, but he goes for the Stealth Rocks, which really hampers my theory or my plan of sending out Kangaskhan to sort of right the ship if things go horribly wrong. So again, I'm hoping he doesn't have Bullet Punch and he was just kind of being cheeky there. But he doesn't, or if he does, he doesn't use it. So Aerodactyl is going to land a knockout here, which is great. So my number one priority at this moment in the battle is to get rid of those rocks, now that he can no longer bring them up. He sends out Dusclops. I don't know what the reasoning behind this was. Dusclops is going to fall to anything Aerodactyl offers. Even though his defense is high, his health at this point is so low that I'll just keep him in. Don't even bother with the stronger Stone Edge. I go for the accurate Earthquake just to finish him off. So here comes Sableye once again. I'm expecting Will-O-Wisp / something that will really destroy my Aerodactyl here. So Ninetales, like I said, doesn't fear anything that Sableye has to offer. The rocks hurt a little bit, losing a quarter of my health. He goes for a Foul Play. It actually does pretty good damage. Does a lot more than I expected it would, but not enough to really worry me at this point. I know he's probably got Will-O-Wisp that I won't mind, and I figure he's got Taunt, which there it is, and probably Recover as well. So I don't remember if I actually did go for a substitute there. I was kind of hoping for a switch because he wouldn't be able to do much to me, but unfortunately I sort of gave up a turn there. So, and of course the problem with the Sableye is I can't spin away those rocks for as long as he still has Sableye. So this is really frustrating. He brings back his Swampert, which again, thanks to the burn, I don't really fear as much as I would normally. I was going for a Flamethrower, trying to do some good damage to Sableye, maybe force a switch or something like that, but instead Swampert's going to tank that. He's starting to reach the bottom here. The last time he used Swampert, I switched out for my Aerodactyl for the Earthquake, so I figured he's probably going to come at me with Waterfall this time, so let's send out Tentacruel and hope that he doesn't Earthquake me. And I'm going to get the rocks, and he doesn't, which is good. He goes for a Waterfall, which is what I wanted. Waterfall after a burn in the sun against Tentacruel. He doesn't even care. That's nothing. So I was really tentative what I wanted to use here. I figure I have an opportunity. I'm going to try it. I go for the Rapid Spin. He doesn't switch to Sableye, which is awesome. It goes for it crits. Doesn't really matter. But the rocks are now gone. My Fear Kangaskhan is intact. So if I ever have the need for it, I'll be able to send him out and sort of ruin his day here. And the burn is going to finish off Swampert here as well, so things are looking pretty good for me. Here comes Sableye again. Once again, Ninetales doesn't fear anything that Sableye has. I actually kept in my Tentacruel. I'm not sure why, probably because I didn't really fear a Will-O-Wisp. I figure I'll leave him out there, get some extra damage. So it goes for Ice Beam, just a little bit of damage, just a little taste. So, at this point I figure he's probably going to Will-O-Wisp me, which is going to give me a free switch into Ninetales. So I'm okay with that. So here's Ninetales, and there's the Will-O-Wisp, which is great. It gives me another free turn of leftovers. And it also means that he's probably going to want to taunt Ninetales as well, fearing a substitute or whatever else I'm going to come at him with, so it's going to give me some time for offense. So he goes for a taunt. I believe I attacked him at this point. I hope I do. I should have if I didn't. I did. Good. Yes! Go me! So you'll see the difference between Dusclops and Sableye here. Look at how much more damage that Flamethrower did to Sableye. So he's kind of in bad shape right now. Again, like I said, Ninetales is taunted. I don't really have a reason to switch him. I could switch into something else, like Victory Bell, to sort of start the setup, but I sort of fear Will-O-Wisp still. And Breloom might cause Victory Bell some problems, potentially. So I'll just go for more Flamethrower is literally the only attack I can use on Ninetales right now. I manage a Lucky Burn, which is going to help my my Ninetales process here as things continue on. It's going to nullify the leftovers and then some, so continue to rack up some more damage on this Sableye, which is going to be nice to help bring him down finally. Goes for the priority recover. So he's going to endure another Flamethrower here, which is fine. I just keep getting closer and closer. Kind of hoping for a crit, not expecting one, but like I said, I don't really have anything to fear against the Sableye. I get a lucky crit here, a little faster than I expected, but I'm totally fine with that. He's sort of operating on fumes here. He doesn't have much left. He brings out his Milotic. I don't remember what I do here. I believe I go for a Will-O-Wisp. No, I actually went for a Flamethrower. I guess to kind of test the waters, see what he's got, because I know Milotic's not going to do much to me anyway. I also kind of expected a Dragon Tail, but he goes for the Scald instead. We already know that this isn't going to do very much damage. It didn't have enough to break his sub. I think it just hit weak that one time, because it seemed like that did more than a quarter of Ninetales' health, so it could have been he's got unlucky that first time he used Scald. So, I hesitated to use Will-O-Wisp because I didn't want to boost Milotic's defense if Victory Bell came down to it, but I have enough experience with my Nidoking against Milotics that I know Nidoking will be able to survive a Scald. He actually goes for a Dragon Tail, and speak of the devil, here comes Nidoking. So I know I'll be able to survive a Scald. Nidoking can already survive a Milotic Scald on its own, but in the sun, when Scald is even weaker, Nidoking really doesn't have anything to fear. That burn is going to continue chipping away, so here comes a Mighty Thunderbolt. And even though Milotic's special defense is pretty good, Nidoking just sort of laughs at it. At this point, now that Milotic is burned, its physical defense is actually higher than its special defense. So you're going to see, even though it's super effective, but thanks to the sun, Nidoking shrugs it off pretty good here. So he'll probably be able to survive another one even, or at least get very close to it if it comes down to it. But Milotic is one Thunderbolt away from death, and Nidoking outspeeds it. So I toyed with the idea of using Flamethrower. I kind of regret that I didn't, because he switches to Breloom. I go for the Thunderbolt. It manages to hit him pretty good. If I had gone for the Flamethrower like I kind of wanted to, it would have just put the kibosh on it right there. I also kind of was banking on the fact that I had Kangaskhan, not remembering that Breloom can learn Bullet Seed and nullify the Focus Sash, but thankfully, I don't know if he was going for a Swords Dance or what he was going for. Nidoking does resist his Mach Punch, which I think helps a lot, so he manages to finish him off with a Flamethrower. Milotic's the last one left on its last breath, and Nidoking is going to knock him out as well with a Thunderbolt, and that's the end of that one. So, another good game. Didn't see either of my two secret weapons for the tournament in this one, which is kind of weird. I did not expect it to turn into such a stall war type battle. My Ninetales and my Tentacruel have been a pretty good combo so far, so would like to keep that going. All things being equal, I would rather a Victory Bell sweep just because it's more reliable, and it's frankly, it's faster and easier than doing all the switches and fun stuff, but, two battles have gone pretty well so far, so hopefully the rest of the tournament will continue in that same direction. So, as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.